There you are, 59 sick Hessians in the field hospital of the Hessian contingent in Perth, untouched by blade or bullet, but confined to your straw with camp fever. I am confined here as well, to within the town of Perth, because I'm a prisoner of war on parole, a Jacobite, but of the cunning sort. I surrendered to the Hessian commander because he treats us humanely. And I have only joined in this whole unlucky affair in the first place only after I had secured an officer's commission in the French army. Your Prince Friedrich asked me, as a prisoner, to cheer you, the sick ones in the hospital, cheer you up with a few tunes. But maybe you're more keen to learn about the fate and the advantage of your 5,500 maids, 100, who touched the edge of the Highlands in Dunkeld. To put it all together, I took inspiration from the Chapman writer Dougie Graham when I put into verse how the Jacobite efforts over the years and the deployment in the war of your Hessian troops, the war in Flanders, intertwined and brought you here and brought us together. And how your commander refused the orders of the Duke of Cumberland, who was his brother-in-law, by the way. When James Stewart was picked out, the girls were standing by him. At Killicranky was put out the victory the day. But the Stuart's friend did not give up the white money. He's been waiting for the old and young King Jamie. They did never give up fight. In Scotland there was discontent. The Union Army. Prince Charles to King Louis went to fight the British Army. In 1744 a French invasion was landed. In 1745 Shropshire in Scotland land. By Charlie and his housemen, there were drumming landed in Montrose with Scots and Irish Frenchmen. Each on white to send his Dutchman home in peace the third of March. The Hessians were a warlike band with beards and their mouths. 5,000 did their prince command, white bells and all blue clothes. They fought in Flanders for King George when Charlie Stewart landed. In Scotland, so to fighting there, the Hessians were command. John Blair, the Hessians were in the marching order to go and attack the Blair. The young Killicranky's forest, Prince Friedrich rode to Cumberland. I do not give a farthing that you order me to post the pass, but I will not be marching. So, our little Jacobite brigade had laid siege to Blair Castle on March 17th. In 46, and your Hessian fellow soldiers had been commanded from Perth to Dunkeld, where they arrived on the 25th. Well, 2/3 of them, the rest was in Crieff. So before all 5,000 of you could assemble at Dunkeld, we, the Jacobite troop under George Murray, tried to surprise the incomplete Hessian brigade in their sleep early on March 30th. But when we came over Craigie Barnes in Creefill, we were welcomed by 4 Hessian regiments in perfect battle array. But we didn't lose a single man due to our excellent tactics. We turned on our heels and fled back to Blair. Maybe your commander hoped Prince Friedrich would pursue us into the narrow path of Killiecrankie. The German prince did no such thing. Your fellow officers and soldiers in Dunkeld have been told about the Battle of Killiecrankie 57 years ago, and since we now control the pass again until the other week, your Prince Friedrich refused to march into it for a good reason, to relieve Blair Castle from our siege. But he was no coward. He feigned an attack via the western detour over Taybridge from Aberfeldy. 500 Hessian infantry marched on the 31st of March from Dunkeld up the River Tay, passing Ballachin, Ranchilly and Pitnacree. Since they crossed the river by way of Wade's Bridge, they didn't need the services of the ferrymen of Pitnacree. And so, with the best help we can get by one of the greatest archers in Scotland in the last 300 years, we're going to play for you first the Strasbourg Mr. Stewart of Ballachin from the collection of a local fiddler, Allan MacDonald, here in Dunkeld, in the 18th century, where we are. Miss Stewart of Ranchilly, Strasbourg and Reel, and the Pitnacree ferryman. promises. In the running up to this, our rising, if that was a good idea, many promises were made, and a few were even kept. Promises in writing played a big part in polite warfare over on the continent. They're called cartels, and in them the warring parties promise each other to treat prisoners well and to exchange them according to an agreed quota or to an agreed ransom. On March 31st, we captured one of your Hessen Hussars, a native of Sweden. Lord Judge Murray interrogated him in Latin, their only common language, and sent him back to Dunkeld with a letter to Prince Friedrich in which it suggested such a cartel about the treatment of prisoners. The Hessian prince would have loved to agree, but Cumberland forbid him to sign it, because he regarded us as criminals and not as regular combatants. By the way, Prince Charlie didn't give his permission either. He was in a huff again, because he hadn't been asked beforehand. True to form. The lack of such a cartel was the main reason why the Hessian troops were not sent into the Killiecrankie Pass by their commander. So, to commemorate all these promises kept and broken, we play a tune that is, I hope we get this right, Johanna now Wildhack. Aye. Sometimes translated as come along and hold your promise. And it's a tune that is well liked and used in many, the melody is used in many songs and pieces. Start off as a strathspey, a fiddle strathspey. All the right way, shall is clean. From the night we never slumber till we bring the tyrants down. So this words give George Murray more praise than I personally agree with, but well. We abandoned the siege of Blair on April 1st because Prince Charles Stuart had summoned us back to Inverness. On April 7th, your Hessian comrades struck their camp at Dunkeld and marched back to Perth. Of our defeat at Culloden, you, Hessian troops, only learned 4 days after the event on April 20th. And an account of these events were given to us by my French company commander, Ian Roy Stewart, who was a colonel with Prince Charles, and Mr. Ian Donnelly, Allan MacDonald's given you the song. Thank you.
John Roy Stewart was the great bard from Perthshire. He fought in the Battle of Fontenoy a few months before, and there was a General Hurry, was his name, saw him approaching at the Battle of Culloden. And John Roy Stewart was a giant of a man, and he spotted him at a distance and recognised him and said, "Oh God, there goes that dastardly man," he said. And so, anyway, John Roy Stewart wrote an account, he wrote 2 songs in the Battle of Culloden, and this is 10 parts only, 10 verses of a 31-verse song. I'm not going to sing at all. You have to hear it. I'm very interested in this project when I met Crisdean first, because my great grandfather fought at Culloden, and if it weren't for Prince Frederick, I wouldn't be here now. As simple as that. I want to give you just a translation, the English translation of the song, because I'm going to be singing in Gaelic, so I might as well give you a taste of what he wrote. He starts by saying, "I am gutted. My heart has fallen to earth and I'm often weeping. My hearing and pleasures have gone regarding Prince Charles, rightful heir, and him not knowing which way to turn. True godly royal blood been cast out when the bastard offspring rises. Race of unloved dogs, whose brood are too well grown, aye, overbred, have put us in hardship. Although you won a battle, it wasn't because of your hardiness, but that our people were not together. There were many of the northern clans absent who, in need's hour, would never fail us. A host of 5 silken flags, well used to fight that we lacked in the bloodthirsty combat." The reference here is to there was absent clans. 2 of them were led by Lord Cromarty in search of £12,000 of treasure from a shipwreck away up north, appropriately called the Hazard, that Lord Ray had commandeered. So these clans that went up with Lord Cromarty were Mackenzie and MacGregors from Glengyle, and the 3 others were some of my own lot. They were from Barrisdale, MacDonald's and Clanranald, and also McKinnon's and Macpherson's. The Macpherson's were late. They didn't turn up in time. So that's the story in the song.
We're greatly honoured for this contribution. Thank you. Right. 3 days after we learned of the outcome of the Battle of Culloden, Cumberland sent orders and started the operation to bring all the Hessian soldiers, all of you and your comrades, back to Flanders. Not home, to Flanders. Now all the regular soldiers, the Germans, the English, the French, and the Scots and Irish who are fighting either in the British or in the French army, are going to meet up soon again to kill each other on that age-old playing field, which is commemorated in the old Scots song, Will You Go to Flanders? Which we try a few brand new variations on this brand new, modern, new bagpipe, made popular in London just the other year by an Irishman. Well, obviously the idea came from France, the idea of that type of chanter. That was popularised in London by a man called Gagan. Interestingly, the commanding officer and his vice colonel in the French Irish Regiment Lally, they were Gagans as well, so might be a connection to this instrument.
my Mario? Will you go to Flanders, my bonny Mario? There you'll get wine and brandy, sack and sugar candy. Will you go to Flanders, my Mario? Will you go to Flanders, my Mario? You'll see our chief commanders, my bonny Mario. You'll hear the bullets fly, see the soldiers how they die, and the ladies loudly cry, my Mario.
Thank you very much. We're finishing off on a lighter note, and we'll let our little set merge into Allan's set. We play a few jigs together. The lighter note is that before the Hessians left Dunkeld, the Hessian Hussar Matthias Hegeler got married to a local lass here in Dunkeld. Probably took her home to Germany, but I couldn't find trace of her. So it rests to speculate whether this German cavalryman was subjected to the Scottish tradition of the feet washing. So that's when the bride and her friends stayed at home and had a drink and a laugh there, and her friends washed the feet of the bride. And the lads, the bridegroom and the lads, had been out drinking And later on, they would join the ladies or the girls, and then the females would add all sorts of soot and dirt and gunk to the feet washing basin, and the groom's feet were put into that mire. So I wonder if Matthias Hegler learned about the Scottish tradition. Whether they did or not, we finish up with a jig called The Feet Washing, appropriately. And after that we'll play a jig called Drummond Castle, because the Hessians marched past Drummond Castle. And after that we'll play another jig called Drummond Castle, even better tune I got from Allan MacDonald, thank you very much. And it goes with another name, I think. James Brewer, you said?
James Brewer,
yeah. So, Johnny here. So The Feet Washing, Drummond Castle and Drummond Castle. Johanna Wildhack. So we've written the wee story together in the booklet to go with the CD, but it's all in German, it's not much use. Very important. This all about the Hessians here in Dunkeld by Christopher Duffy. It's scientific history, but it's a great laugh at the same time. It's very good. It's out of print. You can't buy it in the shops anymore. I managed to get an extra copy. So I'd like to leave it here in Dunkeld for joint use of the History Society and the Community Archive. So one of these.
Alistair, would you take that on behalf of the archive? He's on Community Council. I wonder if you would take that and donate it to the